The emphasis in Team Pursuit is on team, and you'd better believe that all 16 teams are going to be fighting their hardest to put themselves in a good position headed into our final event. This is Professor CC19, and welcome to Event 13 of the 2019 Summer Marble Algolympics, Team Pursuit. This is the only raw tournament bracket style event in the Algolympics this season, with Collision being converted to a round-robin tournament. But here there are no second chances or extra matches. No, the winner moves on and the loser is eliminated. Each team gets one chance to show what they have on this course, and it's the third marble of the team crossing the line, same as last year, that counts for the team's finish. Now there's going to be 8 head-to-head matches in round 1, then 4 in round 2, 2 in the semifinals, and 1 final match, plus the third place consolation race. And just like last year, we finally see the return of the Bowl Brawl for the bottom half positions. 8 teams that don't advance out of the first round will compete in a series of 4 bowls to find out positions 9th through 16th, and then the 4 teams that don't make it out of the quarterfinals will also compete on the same Bowl Brawl course for positions 5th through 8th. So the rules are exactly the same as last year. We have a couple new teams, of course. Mystic Twisters and Gold Globes, the 2 teams new for this year. And one of them is in our very first matchup, Jack's Jokers versus Mystic Twisters. And as you can see, Mystic Twisters is deciding to run backwards. They have Sunspot, their back marble, as the leader going down this course, and their team captain being the driving marble. Now, the driving marble is the one that is running in back. Doesn't have to finish to count for the team, but it is his job to push the 3 others to go faster. So it's interesting that Mystic Twisters are running that strategy. I see how it could work. It's time to find out if it will. We're going to begin in 3, 2, 1, go. Now, of course, Mystic Twisters, one of 14 teams. Yes, 14 teams can still win the Algolympics. Mathematically, Mystic Twisters not as likely as some of the others in the top half, but Jack's Jokers, on the other hand, cannot win the Algolympics. They're sitting in 15th. There is no mathematical way that they can win. And at this point, it looks like they are running behind Mystic Twisters. Jack's Jokers having some major issues on this course. Looks like Mystic Twisters' top 3 are ahead of all 4 of Jack's Jokers. Well, that third marble of Mystic Twisters, that would be Lightning, starting to slow up, but I don't think it's going to matter. Mystic Twisters are easily going to advance. Yet again, we have disappointment for Jack's Jokers. I don't really think it matters as much here. They could not have won the Algolympics anyway. And this is all the more important for Mystic Twisters. Our first rookie team to compete in this event has already advanced through to the quarterfinals. Now we can move on to match 2, O-Raiders versus Ultraviolets. Heading into our second match now, Ultraviolets sitting in 4th in the overall standings on the left, and O-Raiders sitting in 2nd on the right. Who will advance through to the quarterfinals? It's time to find out. Now, in a way, 2019 has been opposite of 2018 for both of these teams, but it is different ways for each of them. Ultraviolets had a bad year last year, finishing down in 13th with only 1 medal. This year they're doing quite well, already having 3 medals. And in the meantime, O-Raiders started off last season well and then faltered. This year, O-Raiders started off in the middle of the pack and then rose towards the top. At this point, though, it does not look like they're rising towards the top in this matchup. Ultraviolets dominating for the early section of this course. Kind of a courting out and then together again. But it's not going to matter. Ultraviolets easily going to advance through to the next round, just beating out O-Raiders. So it looks like O-Raiders made up more ground. They made up some ground in the last few rows, but it was not enough. Ultraviolets are advancing through to the quarterfinals. They will face Mystic Twisters, and we are about to move to match number 3. And now we move on to match number 3, and boy is it a good one. Fireballs and Icers, the 2 rivals facing off once again, probably for the final time in the 2019 main games. But this is the only chance they've gotten to face off head-to-head, one-on-one in an event. So this is going to be incredibly high stakes for the pride of beating their opponent and longtime rival, and also for the chances of winning the Algolympics. Fireballs, I think they will have a chance going into our final event, but Icers have to do well in this event if they want a mathematical shot in event number 14.
And it looks like Fireball's having a little bit of trouble. They've lost Bomber. Their back marble stuck on that top row. But Icicle of the Icers, the fourth marble in their lineup, also coming to a stop in the second row. It is a three-for-all, and yes, I said that on purpose. And oh no, Icers losing another marble. That is Blizzard. They had a little bit of an advantage, but it's not going to matter. Icicle getting going again. I think Bomber is as well, but it is done. Fireball's going to knock out Icers. Everything just fell apart at the end. Two of the Icers getting stuck, and they are going to be eliminated. They still have a shot at 7 points, but at this point, I don't think that's going to be enough. They need to be within 25 points of the leaders. Going into this event, Grayscales were your leaders at 129. If Icers max out at 7, that gives them 99 going into the final event, which means that Icers cannot win the Algolympics now. However, Fireballs still can. They are last year's champions, and they are going to have a shot at it going into the final event this year also. They're guaranteed at least 8 points, and they are your third quarterfinal team. Now we move to our fourth matchup of 8 in round 1, Azure Royals versus Yellowfellas. Now, Yellowfellas have had quite the comeback story so far this year. They barely advanced to the main games. They struggled early in qualifying Group B, and then won the team race, the final qualification event, to advance through to the final showdown. And then won that to occupy the 15th spot, qualifying for the 2019 main games. But in the main games, Yellowfellas have actually struggled quite a bit. They have no medals, 85 points, and if they do not win gold, they will have no chance of winning the Algolympics. In the meantime, Azure Royals are going to be a very tough opponent to face, even for the silver medalists in this event last year. Azure Royals have had a great year once again, staying towards the top of the overall standings really since the opening bell. Event number 1, they finished 6th, and they've only gone up from there. Right now, Azure Royals sitting in 5th place, tied with Ultraviolets, and they're having some problems. Azure Royals has lost that back marble. That is the new member of their team, Bishop. Looks like he will get going again. But still, Azure Royals' top 3 are ahead of Yellowfellas. Yellowfellas have separated 2 and 2. I do not think it's going to work, and it is not. Azure Royals going to advance through to the quarterfinal, and Yellowfellas is out in the first round, which means they cannot win the Algolympics. So we're starting to weed out some of the bottom half teams already. Mystic Twisters are the only bottom half team so far to advance through to the next round. Azure Royals putting themselves in a better position. They finished 3rd last year in the entire games. This year they are going all out in these final few events, trying to recover from last event, where they finished in 15th, to try and win this year. But for Yellowfellas, that Cinderella story is coming to an end. They will not advance out of the first round in Event 13. Alright, now we're set for match number 5, and this is really an interesting matchup that I'd like to talk about for a moment. Grayscales, of course, are our championship leaders, coming off a gold medal win in elimination basketball. The Black Knights are the team to watch here because they have had an up and down season. They have 3 last place finishes to match their 3 podium performances so far this year. But they've also had an injury. Shadow, their second in the lineup in BMX cycling, made it worse when he competed in the classic race, and then was replaced with their alternate marble, Bleak, for the rest of the year. And Bleak is competing here today with Dark, Gloomy, and Shade, the 3 other regular members of the team. But then Black Knights gets stuck with a very unusual draw. By drawing Grayscales, Black Knights put themselves in a very high-pressure position and a mathematical conundrum. Because if Black Knights do not advance, they guarantee themselves to max out at 7 points. That means the most they can get is 7. And otherwise, that would be great. That would be perfect. They would still be in contention for the final event. But since they drew Grayscales, if Black Knights don't advance, that means Grayscales are guaranteed at least 8 points. And that would put Black Knights out of contention. Drawing any other team, it would have been perfect, but Black Knights just stuck with some bad luck on the draw. We'll have to see. They have to advance through to the second round of this event if they want a chance of winning these games. Black Knights, that lead marble, starting to stretch things out, separating a lot more than the Grayscales have. Then the Grayscales coming very close together. We have seen that be troublesome for other teams. And it is troublesome for the Grayscales. Our bronze medalists from last year are having huge problems. So same thing that happened to Icers not too many matches ago. In fact, that was only 2 matches ago. But it's going to happen to the Grayscales even worse. Black Knight's going to crush them. The pressure didn't bother them at all. All 3 of theirs crossing before the Grayscales first. And at this point, I'm not even sure if Grayscales are going to finish with either of these team members. We're waiting to see, could Art or Deco do anything? Looks like Deco might be able to push Art down the course. Whoever makes it over that ledge first. All right, so Deco going to collide with Art. Art is going to continue. It's important. I'm keeping it on screen here because if Grayscales don't finish at all, they automatically come in 16th place. They don't even go to the Bowl Brawl. But it looks like Art and Deco both getting moving again. Grayscales will advance through to the Bowl Brawl. But that is good news for Black Knights. For the second year in a row, they are going to the quarterfinals in this event. And this year, it matters a lot more because they have a chance at winning. They've given themselves that chance by knocking out our leaders. And a lot of other teams are breathing a sigh of relief because Grayscales are now out. Now we turn our attention to match number 6, and it is a revenge match. Mintergreens and Strawberry Streamers in completely opposite positions from where they were last year when they faced off head-to-head. This one is also going to be good. And here it is, the grudge match. Mintergreens versus Strawberry Streamers in Heat 6 of 8. Now the story behind this is very simple. Last year, event number 10, Collision, was a tournament just like this. The winner would move on, the loser was out. Strawberry Streamers was sitting in 16th in the overall standings, last place. They had just found out that they could not win the Algolympics, and to add insult to injury, Mintergreens beat them in a tiebreaker of all things to knock them out in the first round in event number 10, and they wound up finishing in last place. Well, this year the tides have completely turned. Mintergreens, sitting in 16th of 16, they have just found out that they have no chance of winning the Algolympics this year, and Strawberry Streamers looking to return that evil favor from last year. Now, this is going to be interesting. It is almost a perfect setup for a rematch. Strawberry Streamers looking to advance through to also give themselves a shot at winning this year. What a remarkable story it has been for the Strawberry Streamers. After coming in last place in 2018, they could have a chance at the championship going into the final event in 2019. Now here we go, down the final set of pipes. Strawberry Streamers, they're very close-knit, but they are running ahead of the Mintergreens. That last member of the Mintergreens starting to catch up, but it is not going to matter. Strawberry Streamers are able to prove themselves victorious in the grudge match. Strawberry Streamers advancing through to the round of 8, also known as the Elite 8, also known as the quarterfinals. I'm glad I finally bring back that term, Elite 8. Either way, Mintergreens going to the consolation race. Strawberry Streamers very happy about that and about advancing. And now we can move on to match 7 of 8, Crimson Crusaders versus Team Transparent. Alright, we can get our mind off the grudge matches now, but we still can't get it off the stress of competition, because Crimson Crusaders, also one of the teams on the bubble, they need to advance if they want to have a chance at winning the Algolympics 2019. In the meantime, Team Transparent has a pretty good chance of at least being in it for the final event, regardless of what happens here, unless they do very bad and finish in last place, which they are really hoping to guard against. But neither of these teams advanced out of round 1 last year, so both of them really looking for some sort of redemption. At this point, Team Transparent looking more likely to get that. Crimson Crusaders got redemption in BMX cycling. It looks like this might be Team Transparent's event, and it is. So, Team Transparent is going to advance through to the quarterfinals, and Crimson Crusaders is going to be eliminated. They still may have a chance of winning the Algolympics this year. It depends on what happens with the teams that already have advanced and what happens in the quarterfinals, but at this point, Team Transparent for sure will have that chance. And we have one more match in round 1. This one can be pretty much stress-free, because regardless of what happens, Gold Globes and Team Neon, the two teams running in match 8 of 8 in round 1, both of them will have a chance of winning the Algolympics going into the final event. So really they're going more so for the medals. Team Neon and Gold Globes are our final two teams to compete. Alright, here we are in our final matchup of round 1, Team Neon and Gold Globes. Let's just enjoy some classic racing for this final match. Both of these teams have done very well this year when it comes to medals. Team Neon with a stash of medals identical to Fireballs last year, 1 medal of each color, while Gold Globes has a gold and 2 silver. Team Neon and Gold Globes both doing fairly well on this course so far. Team Neon's back marble beginning to fall behind. But I think that third marble might be slightly ahead, but now it's going back to Gold Globes. Will both rookie teams be able to advance into the top half of the second event in a row? The answer is yes. Gold Globes will advance through to the next round. Team Neon, that back marble N, stopping right at the end. I'm not sure what that was about. But either way, they're going through to the consolation race. That's where we're headed to in just a few seconds. But Gold Globes, our other rookie team, along with Mystic Twisters, into the quarterfinals. And here it is, the course for the Bowl Brawl finally making its return for its only appearance in the 2019 games. We have the 8 teams that did not advance out of round 1, Grayscales, Crimson Crusaders, Yellowfellas, Minter Greens, Icers, Team Neon, Jack's Jokers, and O-Raiders. Whoever wins this very quick race will receive 7 points, and whoever comes in last will receive 0. Alright, it's time to begin to find out the bottom half positions. In 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, these 8 teams beginning, and Yellowfellas already through the first, and the second, and the third! Wow! A 1 in a million triple shot for the Yellowfellas puts them into the final bowl already. And I think that's going to be a guaranteed win. They're going to pick up 7 points. Unfortunately, they still can't mathematically win the games. But still, a boost to their confidence. We'll see who can get second place. Team Neon, maybe. Here comes Jack's Jokers, they will. Then O-Raiders, Icers, Crimson Crusaders, Neon, Minter Greens hops over Grayscales and picks up 1 point, which means Grayscales get 0. And that's important, because Grayscales were the leaders coming into this event. At 129, they're not going to go anywhere, so they'll stay at 129. O-Raiders pick up 5, they go to 128, which means that this is big for Ultraviolets and Azure Royals sitting in 4th and 5th. They have a major chance of taking the lead going into the final event, either one of them. But the threshold is probably going to be lower, which means it'll be easier for more teams to be able to win, with Grayscales not picking up anything. Anyway, it's time to get through to the quarterfinals to find out our top half positions, with our first matchup, Ultraviolets versus Mystic Twisters.
Now we move to the round of 8, and the first spot in the semifinals is up for grabs. We have Mystic Twisters versus Ultraviolets, who will claim the first spot in the Final 4. Now, with the results of the consolation race we just saw, it looks like both of these teams will have a chance of winning going into our final event. However, both of them would love to earn a medal in this event. The farther they make it, the better their chances of winning will be going into Event 14. Looks like Mystic Twisters, those top 3 scoring marbles getting very close together, and it sends Lightning back a little bit. Midnight, the team captain running in back, has to give him a nudge from behind, but that hands the lead, and a big lead now over to Ultraviolets. The front 2, Thunder and Sunspot of the Mystic Twisters, also not having their best day out. Looks like they are going to be eliminated in this round unless something bizarre happens to the Ultraviolets. It looks like they are going to advance through to the semifinals. We have Purple, Violet, and now Lavender. Looks like that lead marble Sunspot, and, well, the marble's kind of rushing in. As you can see what I mean, the teleporter isn't always reliable. Sunspot of the Mystic Twisters was the only marble that finished ahead of Lavender of the Ultraviolets, that 3rd scoring member. But in the chaos and bouncing around, Thunder of the Mystic Twisters was able to pass in this finish catch. But regardless, Ultraviolets is through to the Final 4, and we can turn our attention to the next matchup in the round of 8, Azure Royals versus Fireballs. Alright, now we move to match number 2 of round 2, Fireballs versus Azure Royals, and this should be another great matchup. We have Classic Red versus Classic Blue, 2 of last year's podium finishers. And in contrast to the Minter Greens, the other podium finisher for 2018, Both of these teams have had a pretty good year once again, Azure Royals leading for a majority of the middle section of this year's series. In the meantime, Fireballs, with one more medal than Azure Royals, led, I believe, 2 events towards the end. Fireball's easily going to be the faster team coming down towards these narrow tubes. All of a sudden, they're having some problems. And in that second row, they get hung up. Bomber is caught back behind, just like he was in round 1. And now Ignite is stopped also. Fireballs with some bad luck, and that's going to cost them a spot in the next round. Unless something really weird happens to Azure Royals and someone else gets caught for their team. Fireballs are not going to be moving on. Azure Royals through to the semifinals, the Final Four. And that's good for them because, surprisingly, even with all the success they've had in the overall standings this year, Azure Royals has only earned 1 medal, a gold all the way back in event number 5, the downhill sprint. And that's a little bit surprising coming from one of last year's top medal-earning teams. They've had several podium misses, coming in 4th place, getting so close, but then just missing. Here they are guaranteed 4th place, so at least 12 points. But as you know, they're going to be fighting as hard as possible to get, hopefully, to the final and guarantee silver and then go for the gold. Either way, their chances of doing that are much better now, as Fireballs is eliminated in round 2. For the 2nd year in a row, they are going to be participating in the 5th through 8th Bowl Brawl as we move through to our 3rd matchup in the Elite 8. Okay, our next 2 quarterfinalists are back up in the starting gates for match number 3. Black Knights versus Strawberry Streamers. And once again, Strawberry Streamers needs a good finish in this event if they want a chance of winning going into event 14. With Grayscales coming in last place, it is going to be a little bit easier for Strawberry Streamers. But if they knock out Black Knights here, it will be guaranteed for them. If they do not advance, then it could be a toss-up when it comes to the Bowl Brawl, competing with 3 other teams, including Fireballs and Mystic Twisters we already know. But this one looks to be very close. Strawberry Streamers has had some issues, but Black Knights are so close-knit that they're having issues also. We'll see here. Looks like the 3rd member of Black Knights is ahead of the 3rd member of Strawberry Streamers right now, and it looks like it's going to stay that way. We'll see. Yes, it will. All right, so Black Knights are advancing through to the Final Four. Strawberry Streamers is going to be eliminated, and now it's very iffy whether or not they will have a chance of winning. They are guaranteed at least 8 points. But in order to guarantee their chances, it would have been nice to have at least 12. Their max now is 11. They're going to be aiming for that. There's still one other team that will be going to the semifinals and one other team that will be going to the consolation race. That will be in the result of our final matchup in the quarterfinals, Team Transparent versus Gold Globes. All right, we're set for the final matchup of round 2. We have the only rookie team left that still has a chance of advancing through to the Final Four, Gold Globes, versus Team Transparent. Now, both of these teams made it to the final in our last event, Elimination Basketball, where Team Transparent won silver. But really, Gold Globes has been one of the fan favorites from the very start. To think that they are in their very first year competing, and they have been in the top half for the majority of the games and still has a very strong chance of winning going into our final event, it's astounding to consider the amount of success they've had in such a short period of time. Gold Globes, it looks like they have a huge lead here because Team Transparent losing T-Red early, T-Green and T-Yellow are falling further and further behind T-Blue. And it looks like it's going to be easy money, easy gold for the Gold Globes. Now, it's not easy gold yet. They haven't won gold, but they're getting the gold in this matchup, advancing through to the semifinals. And T-Red looks like he is slowly making his way along the course and probably will finish. The team is already counted as a finish because T-Yellow has finished the course. So we have our 4 teams going to the consolation race. Team Transparent, Mystic Twisters, Fireballs, and Strawberry Streamers. And that consolation race is where we are headed right now. All right, each marble has taken their lead marble in this event. So the marble that was running first down the tubes. We have Sunspot of the Mystic Twisters, Side Stream of the Strawberry Streamers, T-Blue of Team Transparent, and Team Captain Fire of the Fireballs. competing for 5th through 8th. The winner of this race gets 11 points in the overall standings. The loser, whoever comes in last, gets 8 points. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, here we go. Strawberry Streamers trying to finish as strong as possible. Live up to their team hashtag, StrawBeStrong. Looks like Fireballs and Mystic Twisters are the first two teams into that second bowl. Strawberry Streamers ramming into them, but it's Team Blue of Team Transparent that gets the edge. Fireballs were in the same position last year. They came in last place in this race. We'll see what happens here. Mystic Twisters, Fireballs, Strawberry Streamers. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Strawberry Streamers, getting 11 points, Fireballs 10, Mystic Twisters 9, and Team Transparent and Team Blue are going to come in last place in this consolation race and get 8 points. All right, so we have the results. That is good news for Strawberry Streamers, good news for Mystic Twisters. I believe both of them will still have a legitimate chance of winning going into Event 14. But now it's time to turn our attention through to semifinal Heat A, Azure Royals versus Ultraviolets.
And now the stakes get even higher. We know who our top 4 teams are, and now 2 of them are back on the course competing for the first spot in the final. Azure Royals and Ultraviolets, who will claim the first spot to fight for the gold in our grand final of this event. Now, what's interesting here is Ultraviolets are in 4th in the overall standings, and Azure Royals are in 5th. But that's only because of medal count. These 2 teams are tied when it comes to the number of points they have. So this match is very important. Looks like Ultraviolets are going to be the first team to make it to those narrow tubes, but they've separated 2 and 2, and it's causing them some problems. Wisteria, the back marble, is falling behind for the Ultraviolets, and it looks like the third, that would be Duke for Azure Royals, is about on par with Lavender. So this is going to be a very close matchup, and all the chaos and craziness of the other matchups we've seen with marbles getting stuck, we haven't really seen a very close one. We'll see if this can be our first really close matchup. Ultraviolets have a bit of an edge, but now they slow down. It is going to be very close down to the finish line. Who can get this? Lavender slows up a bit, and I have to look at the footage. I have no idea who won that. Now, right now, the finish line is saying Ultraviolets. In fact, the finish line is saying that the Ultraviolets finished ahead of all but one of the Azure Royals, but I know that is not true just from looking at that right a couple moments ago. I know that at least 2 of the Azure Royals finished in front of Ultraviolets. So as you saw earlier, this finish catch is not always reliable. I'm going to go back and look at the footage again, because this is by far our closest finish yet. Alright everyone, we are back, and I have reviewed the footage. And this is a Algolympics first. This is the first time in Algolympics history that we have a tie. Down to the 100th of a second, Azure Royals and Ultraviolets finished at the exact same moment. More specifically, their third marble in the lineup, or their third scoring marble for this event. And that means that those individual marbles, so Duke of the Azure Royals and Lavender of the Ultraviolets, will run in a tiebreaker. 1-on-1, 1 marble, same course. Whoever wins is going to the final. We'll begin in 3, 2, 1, go. I cannot imagine a more high-stakes match than this. Duke or Lavender, Azure Royals or Ultraviolets. Who can win the tiebreaker? Looks like, unlike last time, Azure Royals are the quicker team, but after the final few rows, Ultraviolets get the edge. And now Azure Royals seeming to come back just a little bit. This is going to be very close once again. Now Azure Royals starting to stretch things out. Can Duke bring it home for his team? What about Lavender? Not far behind. It's going to come down once again to the final few rows. Duke taking off like a rocket, and Azure Royals are into the final. Lavender cannot pull through at the end. Duke, that was very fast in the final few rows. He saved up all his energy for the end, and Azure Royals are going to be competing for the gold in Team Pursuit. Ultraviolets going to the bronze medal match. What a turn of events. It is an Algolympics first. And now we can turn to semifinal B, which is Gold Globes and Black Knights, and find out who will join Azure Royals in our final. Alright, after that amazing tiebreaker, it's time to find out who else will be going through to the final round. Will it be Gold Globes, appropriately named to compete for the gold in any event, in particular a tournament? Or will it be Black Knights for the second time in a row in a team event, adapting to an unorthodox position? With their alternate marble Bleak, they still seem to have good teamwork to advance through to this point. Both teams will have a chance of winning going into our final event. Looks like all four make it past the first row successfully. Black Knights, though, have separated 2 and 2. Gold Globes very close-knit in formation. Spacing is very even throughout. They have to be careful not to get too close together. Black Knights, the second and third marbles. That would be Gloomy and Shade in their new lineup, colliding with one another, killing their momentum, and it's actually going to kill their chances of advancing. Gold Globe's top 3 is going to finish in front of the top marble for the Black Knights. So easily, Gold Globes advancing. Pretty clear results there in contrast to what we just saw in a tiebreaker. But Gold Globes will face Azure Royals in our final round. Kind of a dream matchup. One of the most successful teams from last year facing off against the most successful rookie team this year. This should be a perfect example of old school versus new school. Who will prevail? But before we get to that, we have Ultraviolets and Black Knights competing for the bronze. We're still yet to find out who will finish on the podium in this tournament. But now it's time to fill the bottom step. Who will get bronze? Will it be Ultraviolets who just barely missed out on advancing to the final? Or will it be Black Knights who have adapted very well so far to their new team dynamic? Both of these teams have been impressive to advance through to this point, but only one of them can make it in the bronze medal position. The other will have just missed out, coming in 4th place. Looks like Black Knights a bit more spread out coming into this section, but now Ultraviolets spreading out in a similar fashion. Black Knights have lost their back marble, their alternate Bleak, but I don't think it's going to matter. Wisteria is running behind, and now Lavender falling behind. The top 3 for the Black Knights, according together, that is slowing them up a little bit, but once again, it is not going to matter. The top 3 finishing before Violet and Lavender get there, which means Black Knights are your bronze medalists in Team Pursuit. Ultraviolets, after just barely missing the final, is going to also miss the podium, sadly coming in 4th place. It was another close matchup, but it just was not meant to be. Black Knights are claiming 15 points and the bronze. But now it comes down to this, our grand final, Gold Globes and Azure Royals. Who will win gold in Event 13? And here is our grand final. The rookies in Gold Globes versus the veterans in Azure Royals. Who will win gold in event number 13? It's time to find out in 3, 2, 1, go. Now this is our highest stakes matchup ever. 25 points, a gold medal, and the lead going into the final event are all at stake. That's right, whoever wins this will take the lead for certain going into event 14, the Giant Maze. Looks like Azure Royals are a bit more spread out than Gold Globes, but Gold Globes have lost glare. Their back marble is shredded on that top row, but the question is, will it matter? Will their top 3 be fast enough otherwise? And at this point, it's looking fairly likely, as long as they don't get caught up here, they get a little bit hung up. Now, this is going to be anybody's game. Can Azure Royals take it back right at the end? Azure Royals have 3... I'm going to have to look at the footage, but at this point, I think it's Gold Globes. If I saw that correctly, Gold Globes, our rookie team, has won gold in this tournament. Alright, so like I said just a moment ago, I am going to look at the footage, because once again, that is too close to call, just like last year with Brownies and Yellowfellas. It is coming down to less than, I would say, a 1/10 of a second when it comes to our final matchup. But as of right now, blue may be for the Royals, but gold is going to be for the Gold Globes. So I will check the footage to verify it, but at this moment, Gold Globes are your winners in Team Pursuit.
Okay, I did go back and look at the tapes, and it is official now. Gold Globes are your winners in Team Pursuit, claiming their second gold medal in just their first year competing, and taking the lead going into our final event. Azure Royals happy to get back on the podium with a silver, and Black Knights, with their new team dynamic, still strong enough to get bronze.
Ultraviolet's just missing the podium. In the 5th through 8th consolation race, we found out Strawberry Streamers gets 11 points, Fireballs 10, Mystic Twisters 9, and Team Transparent 8. And then in the bottom half, Bowl Brawl, Yellowfellas with an easy victory to claim 7 points, Jack's Jokers 6, O-Raiders 5, Icers 4, Crimson Crusaders only 3, Team Neon only 2, Mintergreens 1, and the leaders going into this event come away in the exact same position. 129 going in, 129 coming out. Grayscales get 0 points. Now it's time to find out our updated overall standings. With only one event left, there are still 11 teams. That's right, 11 teams that could still win these games. Alright, here is the new overall standings chart. And in contrast to last year, going into the final event, only 8 teams could still win our top half. This year, almost 3/4 of the teams still have a mathematical chance of winning. So this year it has been a lot closer. Gold Globes, for the first time now, taking the lead in the overall standings, 4 points clear of the Azure Royals, 2 gold, 2 silver, and 138 points. Azure Royals 134, 1 gold, 1 silver, just to show their consistency. Grayscales with 3 medals, a gold and 2 bronze, fall to 3rd at 129, O-Raiders 128, and Ultraviolets at 126. Those 5 teams have the greatest chance of winning. Then we have to step back a little bit down to 121, a tie between Team Transparent and Fireball. Black Knights rounding out our top half at 119. Then Team Neon at 118, Mystic Twisters 117, Strawberry Streamers 113. They still can win. They are 25 points behind Gold Globes, which means that if Gold Globes does not come in dead last in our final event, Strawberry Streamers can't win. But it is a possibility. We just saw the leaders going into this event, Grayscales, get 0 points. So Strawberry Streamers still alive. However, there are 5 teams in 12th through 16th that cannot win these games now. Crimson Crusaders at 106, Icers at 96, Yellowfellas at 92, Jack's Jokers at 82, and Mintergreens, they are locked into 16th place. That means for certain Mintergreens are going to come in last. Even if they win gold in the final event, it is not going to be enough to elevate them above 16th. They are sitting way behind with a measly 55. Alright, so that is it for Event 13. This is one of the longest videos, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to leave a comment about the racing, the course, or who you think is going to win with only one event left to go, please leave your comments below. And don't forget to tune into the finale, event number 14, which is coming very soon, the new event, the Giant Maze. That will be going along with the closing ceremony. They will both be in one video. So the final event, the Giant Maze, and the closing ceremony for the 2019 games. This has been Professor CC19. That's coming soon, and as always, thank you so much for watching.